Hey guys, it's Six from State 48. We're going to go ahead and talk about our previous state versus state. We had State 66, as you'll see here on the report. We're going to walk through the attacks one by one. I'm going to try to keep this quick, and we are going to kind of cover the key highlights here. Wave decides to test his might. We had a couple of things going for us in our favor. First is going to be troop levels, and we also decided to pop our pet buffs right away in the morning. Um, Something to kind of notice here is the synergy between Nora and Lynn here with the skill extra damage. Something you're going to see as a common theme is S48 is going to be running the Wallace Bocan on offense and defense for the majority of this, for the majority of the castle. So Boss is deciding to use Jesse on offense. They have something really interesting on defense that we'll cover. In this first attack, we see that MFG had 350,000 survivors after the first attack. Second attack, he did a little bit worse, leaving 540 up. He hits us with the same composition, a little bit different in the rally percentages, not a whole lot. Nothing much else to see in this other than S48 switching the troops around. So we had level 6s in our attack setup here, and then we switch over to having better infantry. Now, that was my call as the strategist. I did that because I wanted to keep them on their toes. Next thing they do here, as you can look at the timestamps at the top right here, 623, we did get double rallied. They made a mistake, and that mistake was they hit us with their whale first, meaning that he arrived first. And that was unable to close us out. I decided to move some more infantry in to balance the upcoming archer rally. As you see here, their weaker whale didn't quite do as much damage as they were expecting. Moving forward, we were able to fill it back up before we got hit again. This time, we did get rallied and got knocked out, so they did this correctly with the weaker player. They made some good adjustments. Notice the weaker player using Geronimo. So I decided to refill the marksman here. Interesting that they had FC level 4 as an average. I don't believe they popped any pet buffs as of yet. Oop, wrong tab for that. Pet buffs are activated now by the weaker guy. And so they took this. Did they have pet buffs? They did not. Okay, so we can, as you can see, we were not fully back up. We did have 100K. Now, I made another call here, and I told MFG to attack again immediately with his second march, and he was able to actually knock out Wave. I made this call because he had 341,000 troops left, and I also noticed that the majority of his troops were injured. And so I wanted to get us back in there, and he was able to attack that and win it. I don't have the report for that myself, but you can see from the timestamp 629, he takes it again. They were able to coordinate a double rally to keep the party moving. Now, it's going to be the same theme. I'll kind of walk you through here. They do a double rally and we lose. Now, he only had 1,000 troops left. Just a measly attack and we get it back. I believe, or... Yeah, we get that back immediately. So we're on the defense again. Notice that we have a different attacker now. So their second clan from State 66, it was not a group that decided to combine efforts. This was two alliances working together, as you will see in the later reports. Now, he tests his mark. I believe he actually does better than Wave did in his first attack. So let's see, 300,000 left up. First attack, 300,000. Oh, yep, 60,000 better. And so we were here. And kind of moving through here, you can see the hero lineup. Now their troop average is starting to get a little bit better. Here's the percentages to look at them. Here's the stat bonuses. Now Harang has his buffs activated. I don't think ours have run out yet. Battle details, if we want to run through them. Let's see what Oak was running. I believe they were running Jesse's as we were continuing to run Wallace. There was one of them that I wanted to look at. Okay, I think it was the attack. We'll get to it. So next attack here, they had a little bit better results. I'm not. Oh, he switches from Hector to Geronimo. That is the biggest difference here. And you can see that he did do better when it compares the survivors. Again, they don't quite have the best troop average. Their like their stats are going to be better from first page to second page. We won't look into that too closely. Now, we are knocked out. So this is the first time that we're knocked out by a solo rally. And I think it's mainly down to the heroes having a little bit better gear. And now they have their troop average up, which made a big difference. Now we are attacking. And something that I really, really want to pay attention to is look how many survivors that S48 has here after that rally compared to the enemy and their survivors. Look at that crazy difference. 1,000,000 left. Hardly any injured. And I believe that comes down to the Wallace. And that is the reason why we are running Wallace both on offense and defense, guys. This is why the Wallace strategy is running rampant. Now, this is another thing that I wanted to point out. Their defense included Hector. I thought this was really interesting, and sadly, this didn't work out for them. I'm happy they tried something new. It was kind of interesting to play against, but it just did not work out in their favor. And they actually continued to do the Hector defense. I should have been making the call to go ahead and solo attack that again. The reason why I hesitated was because I believe I remember seeing more of his troops alive. That was not the case. What was the case? I think it was just the overall troop average, or I missed the report. One of the two. Things can get hectic. Now, again, look, 700,000 survivors using Wallace Bocan. And now we see the first loss of the reports. And I believe it's because they don't have anybody on constantly tapping heal. I want to say, do they switch up? They don't. Okay, they don't. Now, Harang switches. There was one of them he switched. Aha. This was defense? Oh, that was attack. Apologies. Aha. First defense. I had to step back a little bit. He did use Gwen. That was another thing I forgot to point out. He used Gwen on defense, and that was partially to our high survivor rate as well, instead of Lynn. And now on the next defense, you can see he actually switches over to correct heroes, even with the widget not quite being where it needs to be at. Now, we still use Geronimo all the way through. That is just a personal choice. I believe next SVS we will be switching over to Gen 6. Now again, we still see Hector, so I won't spend too much time on that. I can be showing percentages here. Now, those do play a factor in decision making, but it goes just back and forth. He continues to take losses. That's something to kind of keep noticing. We attack again, another high survivor rate. They're still taking losses, and these losses, as I will point out, are actually coming from the whale himself. And I don't believe he notices this right away. And it takes a few tries before he decides to talk to boss, the other state, again, and ask for them to take the reins and continue to fight the fight. So now boss is double rallying us, and they decide that after a couple of attempts, that it's just not worth it. We hit our 3 hour mark, and they were done. And so we attacked him again, and now Wave starts taking losses, and this is the last report. So this was a interesting battle, back and forth. Thank you guys for showing up and putting up a really good fight. S66, and that is the battle report history. I don't know what else to call it. I hope you guys enjoyed the review and kind of how to look at these reports and what you should be looking for. And keep gaming.